the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, and then we wept when we remembered Zion. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, and then we wept when we remembered Zion. Where the wicked carried us away captivity, required of us a song. How can we sing King out the song in a strange land? Where the wicked carried us away captivity, required of us a song. How can we sing King out the song in a strange land? So let the words of our mouth and the meditation of our heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. So let the words of our mouth and the meditation of our heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. By the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down, and then we wept when we remembered Zion.
Good morning and welcome to South Church Virtual Services. My name is Bret, and I am one of a member of a team of worship associates that assist Interim Minister Reverend Susan Zahusky Brown and the Director of Lifespan Ministries, Kirsten Hunter, and many others in bringing these services to you each week. Today's sermon will be offered by Deanna Strand. Deanna has been a member of South Church for a long time, and we are thankful to her for bringing us her kind words this morning. Music this week will be provided by Susan Adams, as well as Cathy Okhuysen and South Church Folk. I wish to thank Jen Leiden, Jen Daldeo, and all the staff, boards and committees members, and helping hands that make these services possible. So if you're new to South Church, or if you're with us regularly, welcome. I hope you enjoy our services.
The South Church Spiritual Book Group is hosting a discussion of Inheritance, a memoir of genealogy, paternity, and love by Danny Shapiro on Wednesday, July 14th at 7 p.m. All are welcome. Please contact South Church Book Group at gmail.com for the Zoom link. For more than 10 years, the First Sunday Chanting from Different Traditions has been meeting on the front steps of the church in the summertime. Join us on Sundays, July 4th, August 1st, and September 5th at 9 a.m. All are welcome to join voices outside. For more information, contact Cathy Okhuysen at cathomusic@gmail.com. If you have ever sung in the South Church Choir at any time during the last 11 years while Joanne was the music director, we would love for you to send a photo of yourself to Betty Olivolo. There will be a special service on July 11th celebrating music at South Church and all those who have sung in the choir during Joanne's tenure. Please email your photos by June 30th to Betty Olivolo at bettyolivolo@gmail.com. And don't forget that Slate is still available. Lori Bilby will be at South Church today from 1 to 3 p.m. selling Slate for a donation of $20 or more. If you have any questions, please contact Lori at turningtide@comcast.net. Join us as we practice and discuss mindfulness at the new weekly South Church Mindfulness Meetup. If you're interested in mindfulness but not sure where to start, an experienced meditator seeking a support group, or anything in between, let's practice together. Online on Tuesdays from 10 to 11 a.m., beginning July 6th, each group will begin with a 30-minute guided meditation, followed by a facilitated discussion. To join the email list and for the Zoom link, please contact Kalyana Bliss at kalyanabliss8@gmail.com.
Each one comes with gifts to share. So many flowers, no two are the same, and each has a part in the garden here. Each one comes with gifts to share. So many flowers, no two are the same, and each are a part of the garden here. Each one comes with gifts to share. So many flowers, no two are the same, and each are a part of the garden here.
Welcome once again. Summer is upon us. Many see summer as the season to go out and enjoy their favorite activities. Spending time on the water, on the shore, or in the wilds are all popular choices. I grew up in a summer destination, Booth Bay, up on the mid-coast of Maine. Whale watches, lobster dinners, and shopping are all popular activities up there. But I liked to find the quiet places, going into the woods to view and occasionally make fairy houses, a pastime made locally popular in the Booth Bay region by my own mother. I also liked to simply enjoy the dappled light coming down through the forest canopy. One of the warm weather spots that I most enjoyed was an old, near ancient mill dam in the woods behind my mother's house. I would walk through the deep woods to a stream and follow it to the pool created by this old dam. I could almost imagine the water wheel nestled in the cutout in the top of this structure. See where they would have had their building to work with the water wheel and the power it provided. It was amazing to have seen how the woods just grew up around this structure, leaving really just the dam as the only clue as to what had ever been there. I would enjoy the water cascading out of the cracks that time had created in the dam, and in hot weather, I could swim in this secluded swimming hole. Thinking of the many times I visited this old dam reminds me that play comes in many forms. Organized sports, imaginative scenarios with dolls or action figures, board games, card games, and dice games. But for me, the simple exploration of the world around me was the greatest joy and the greatest form of play that I could have ever had. I hope as we progress through summer that you all get a chance to play in whatever way your heart guides you.
You may recognize these words from last week's service. They bear repeating. Let us slip into that joy-filled and timeless space where we are able to laugh together. Let us slip into the playful rest that I am reminded of when I see a sea otter lie back and enfold their hands over their belly near their heart. Let me try that. Will you try it too? Lean back into your chair, into the couch, into the lawn, and place your hands together over your belly near your heart. I feel it. I feel my breathing in and out. I feel my heartbeat. I feel playful rest coming over me.
I invite you to recite the mission statement with me as shown on your screen. At South Church, we nurture spiritual growth through worship, learning, and community. We celebrate the worth and dignity of all people, and we inspire one another to act on our faith in the larger community.
I'm Lauren Katz, and as you know, this month's theme is play. Additionally, it is Pride Month for the LGBTQ community, for families like mine, and for all of us. With both play and pride in mind, I bring you the story of Harvey Milk and the rainbow flag. When I was a kid, parades, flags, rainbows, it was all a celebration and it was playful. And as an adult, I've also learned that even in our work, our passion to make change, maybe, or even when we have to face opposition, we can use celebration and we can be playful. And I think maybe that's what Harvey had in mind when he was leading people to make change, to do it with celebration and happily and playfully. So enjoy the story. Pride, the story of Harvey Milk and the rainbow flag, written by Rob Sanders, illustrated by Stephen Salerno. Harvey Milk once said, "You have to give them hope. Hope for a better world, hope for a better tomorrow." Harvey Milk was an ordinary man, but he had an extraordinary dream. That dream would change history. Harvey dreamed that everyone, even gay people, would have equality. He dreamed that he and his friends would be treated like everyone else. He dreamed that one day people would be able to live and love as they pleased. With his New York accent, Harvey taught to everyone about his dream. His voice boomed, his body bounced with energy and excitement. Some people listened, a few agreed, most did not. But Harvey's big voice and his big dream wouldn't be stopped. He discovered that the best way to change the laws was to help make the laws. In 1977, Harvey Milk took a big step toward that dream when he became one of the first openly gay people to be elected to a political office in the United States. Harvey and his friends planned marches to protest inequality and unfair laws. And just days before one of those marches, Harvey had an idea. A symbol, he thought. We need a symbol that shows who we are and how we feel. Something to carry during the march. Something to make people feel they're part of a community. Something to give people hope. Something extraordinary. Harvey knew an artist who could help, Gilbert Baker. Harvey asked. Gilbert said, "We need a flag." Volunteers arrived to help Gilbert's design come to life. Together they dipped fabric into large barrels filled with vivid, vibrant dyes, then cut and pieced and sewed until Harvey, Gilbert, and the other activist had a flag. A flag with 8 colorful stripes. A flag that Harvey hoped would give hope. On June 25th, 1978, when it was time for the march, a breeze stirred in San Francisco. The flag unfurled. The wind blew. The flag fluttered, flapped, and flew. A rainbow as bright and unique as the men and women who walked behind it led the march. Harvey and the people asked for equality. They asked to be treated like everyone else. They asked to live and love as they pleased. They hoped the march would make a difference. Harvey was proud of the flag and proud of himself. He hoped others could be proud too. But 5 months later, Harvey and the mayor of San Francisco, George Moscone, were assassinated. Their lives were taken by a man who did not think like Harvey or feel like him or love like him. The flag did not fly on that dark, sad night. Instead, thousands and thousands of people marched silently, carrying candles. The candlelight wove through the streets of San Francisco, up and down hills and around city buildings. A mile of glowing candlelight to honor the 2 lives lost. That could have been the end of Harvey's dream and the colorful flag. But it wasn't. More rainbow flags were created. Some of the colors changed. 8 stripes became 6 stripes. But the meaning of the flag did not change. It was a flag of equality. More and more people began to think of the flag as their flag, and they began to feel pride. They began to have hope. Harvey Milk once said, "I ask for the movement to continue, for the movement to grow." And Gilbert Baker designed another rainbow flag so it could. This one was larger than all the rest, and in 1994, women and men, side by side, carried the flag, a proud, mile-long rainbow floating through New York City. The flag wove through the streets, up and down avenues and boulevards and around city buildings. The people demanded equality. They demanded to be treated like everyone else. They demanded to live and love as they pleased. They were proud. They had hope. They would make a difference. More rainbow flags were made. Some were printed on bumper stickers and t-shirts. Others were hoisted onto lampposts on Halsted Street in Chicago. One was hung in the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. Soon, the rainbow flag was flying in other countries like Brazil, England, Israel, Russia, Singapore, and Turkey. The rainbow flag now unfurled on farms, in suburbs, and in cities. The flag flew proudly outside public buildings, hotels, shops, restaurants, churches, and homes. And once, in 2015, the White House was awash in the colors of the rainbow flag. Equality, pride, hope, love. Harvey's dream became a flag for us all.
Now is the time we share our wealth for the good of the church community. Donations to South Church go towards supporting our facilities, staff, and programming. Additionally, each month, we share the donations with a local organization as voted by our members. This month, we are sharing with the South Church Immigrant Support Fund. This fund assists undocumented immigrants in the Seacoast community with funds for housing, healthcare, legal expenses, and other necessities. Please give as you are able to help us support these members of our community. You can donate at our website at southchurch.uu.org or by mailing your donation to the 73 Court Street offices per the instructions shown on your screen. Thank you.
Has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where God's feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day.
Oh, we give thanks, oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for this precious day. We're all gathered here, we're all gathered here, and those far away, and those far away, for this time we share, for this time we share, with love and care, with love and care. Oh, we give thanks, oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for this precious day.
Join me now in a moment of prayer. Join me in taking a deep breath to center yourself and your mind. The world, our community, people, society, they are all complicated and interrelated on so many levels. There is joy and suffering that coexists in ways that are hard to imagine. Problems are complex, and easy solutions are often no solution at all. Let us pray for the leaders we have selected or chosen to follow to have the wisdom and guidance to understand the problems we all face. May they see the big picture and help resolve the issues that hurt and harm. Let us offer our voices to help them understand our needs, our views on justice, economic, climate, and other important issues that we all face together. Let us all lead, even if we only lead ourselves, lead in the direction of hope, love, and the greater good. We are all fallible beings, but by leading with our hearts, our conscience, our souls, we can work for a better tomorrow. A better tomorrow for all beings, those that are suffering, those without hope, and those who just wish for a better life, a better world. And finally, let us pray for those in our community, our fellow South Church attendees, our neighbors, our family and friends. Pray for the sick and the injured. Pray for those that are experiencing grief. Pray for us all to experience the warmth and light that we all share.
When I was a child, my family would gather around my grandparents' kitchen to play Pit and Yahtzee. After holiday dinners, the game meant what board game we were going to play, not what was on TV. Images of me and my siblings huddled around a Monopoly board or the game of life are prominent memories. In college, I played backgammon and Cosmic Wimp Out with my dorm mates, alternating between the children we were and the adults we were becoming. My dad taught me how to shuffle a deck of cards, forming a perfect bridge, and I never tired of playing gin rummy with him, right up until the last time that we were together. I love to play games. So it's probably not a surprise that every Saturday night during the long, dark winters of 2020 and 2021, I hosted a game night on Zoom. It was fun for sure, but it was also a way to endure the stress and uncertainty of surviving a global pandemic. It helped me strengthen social connections, build trust, and develop resilience to endure the hard stuff in my life. Each week, a loose group of folk-related and fall retreat-connected South Church people found our way to the virtual social space that we all moved to in March of 2020. There were games involved, but they were secondary to the true objective: maximum silliness. With no plan at all, only the vaguest sketch of who would choose the game, or maybe a notion to try a new game we'd heard about, we gathered. We came together for the company and for the laughter. We found equal delight in converting a traditional board game to the internet, attempting a high-tech option online, or a simple game of charades. One night we spent 2 hours playing a filler game called Two Words because we just couldn't stop. No matter what game we chose, everyone gamely played along, and no one ever vetoed a suggestion. Rules were often overlooked, bent, even flouted. Who cares if there's no such thing as avocado ice cream, or if hey stack-a-layas is not a real word? Scores were entirely unimportant, and if someone struggled with technology, no one got impatient. If the technology didn't work, no one got frustrated. What we played mattered less than that we played. My brother Caleb joined us once or twice. That there was a second time demonstrates what a good sport he really is. A serious gamer, think live action role playing, game development, gaming conferences, and a high school history teacher, he is all about the game. He's never happier than when he is doling out game pieces and explaining the rules. After playing with us, he pronounced, "You guys are the silliest bunch of people I have ever met." He was right. There was just too much seriousness in our world just then. An unstable political situation, a raging global pandemic, plus all the small and gigantic tragedies and challenges of daily life happening without the security of familiar supports. Playing games was an antidote to all of that. Weekly game night gave me something to look forward to, a brief time away from the scary reality that is our world and the stress that was and is daily life. It was non-negotiable and absolutely invaluable. For 2 hours once a week, worry, striving, and seriousness melted away. Despite this, when Myra asked if I would be interested in giving a sermon on play, my first thought was, honestly, why me? Surely there was someone better suited to talk about play. I didn't consider myself to be a playful person by nature. In fact, in many aspects of my life, I'm quite the opposite. I'm the executive director of a nonprofit literacy agency. I spend my days in meetings, writing reports, developing budgets, doing strategic planning. Helping transform people's lives through education, or slaying dragons, as my 21-year-old Ray calls it, is a big job. At home, my family calls me the general because my tendencies to plan and fix and organize and implement extend to my home life. I worry, I problem solve, I take care of business. Lori Bilby could have been describing me in her opening words last week. I, too, am a task-oriented firstborn. And yet Myra thought I had something to say on this topic. She saw something in me that I didn't know was there, so I decided to explore the idea. Several years ago, as I approached the dreaded empty nest, without realizing I was doing so, I began to expand my opportunities to play. As I pursued my various interests, hiking, dancing, and music, with increased pleasure and frequency, I began making choices based on playfulness, and some guidelines began to emerge. Ukulele circle jam made the grade. Weekly music lessons didn't. Contra dancing, yes. Ballroom dancing, no. 52 with a view rather than the 4,000 footers. With ballroom dancing, you need a partner just to participate. You have to memorize steps, and the goal is on form. With contra dancing, someone tells you what steps to take. If you can walk, you can dance, and if you mess up, someone will gently nudge you in the right direction with a smile. At least at the dances I wanted to be at. After a few private lessons on the ukulele, practicing scales, but wanting to play music, I asked my instructor why I had to learn the circle of fifths. He said that if I wanted to be an accomplished ukulele soloist, not kidding, I needed to understand music theory. I decided I was fine being a mediocre accompanist. In the PMAC circle jam, all I needed to know were 3 chords, C, F, and G, in order to play everything from the Beatles to Prince. A patient leader and a community to pull me along were all I needed. And forget about marching through walls of trees for hours in search of the summit. Give me a decent hike, a stunning view, a short drive, and a buddy to share it with. The journey matters more to me than the destination. I stop to gape at mushrooms and wildflowers. I'm not interested in beating the clock or bagging summits. So, not taking my own word for it, I did the modicum amount of research obligatory when one is writing a sermon, and I found validation. In a story called Play Doesn't End with Childhood, Why Adults Need Recess Too, Dr. Stuart Brow, head of a nonprofit called the National Institute for Play, says, play is something done for its own sake. It's voluntary, it's pleasurable, it offers a sense of engagement, it takes you out of time. The act itself is more important than the outcome. No striving, no performance or product, no judgment. Yeah, that's it. I guess I do play. Somehow, this game-loving person ended up in a family with 2 people who don't like to play games. There's no judgment here. They play in other ways. But it leaves me in constant search of someone to play a game with. Once on a multi-family ski trip, I spotted some folks playing cribbage and eagerly asked to join in. After a couple of hands, I noticed a few things that didn't fit my understanding of game playing. There was no table talk. They shuffled the next deck while the scores were counted so they could get to the next round as quickly as possible. And they actually cared about winning. I recognized them as game players, emphasis on game. It was like the time I dropped in on a jam session with a few accomplished musicians at a retreat, me with my 3 chords and simple charts. Their level of play was so advanced and intense that I couldn't connect. To play with them would have been work for me. Play is the opposite of work, which demands productivity, compliance, constant improvement, and data-driven processes. However, playing also allows me to be better when I'm not playing. With play in my life, I become more flexible and resilient, more likely to go with the flow, seek a collaborative solution, stop striving, and savor the moment. I also learn to laugh at myself and take things less seriously. When he was 16, my brother Caleb was completely obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons. He was talking about it passionately and animatedly to my mother-in-law at a family get-together. After listening for a while, she asked him with all seriousness, "How do you think this will help you in your life?" I remember Caleb being dumbstruck. My life? I don't know how it will help me in my life. It's just fun. For Caleb, gaming did actually become a significant part of his life in very tangible ways. But playing doesn't have to literally become your life to impact your life. There are real and lasting benefits to playing. Research that I found at helpguide.com shows you that play can help us do many things. It relieves stress. It's fun, and it triggers the release of endorphins, which promote an overall sense of well-being and can even temporarily relieve pain. Play improves brain function. Playing chess or completing puzzles challenge the brain and can help prevent memory problems. The social interaction of playing with families and friends can also help ward off stress and depression. It boosts creativity. You learn a new task better when it's fun and you're relaxed and in a playful mood. Play can also stimulate your imagination, helping you adapt and solve problems. It even improves relationships and your connection to others. Sharing laughter and fun can foster empathy, compassion, trust, and intimacy with others. And it even keeps you feeling young and energetic. Play can boost your energy and vitality and even improve your resistance to disease, helping you function at your best. George Bernard Shaw said, "We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing." And Frederick and Mary Ann Broussette, who are proponents of play as a spiritual practice, say this: "Play is the exuberant expression of our being. It is at the heart of our creativity. It helps us live with absurdity, paradox, and mystery. It feeds our joy and wonder. May it be so."
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Nietzsche once said, "A person's maturity consists in having found again the seriousness one had as a child at play." As we go forth from this shared time together, we go out into summer, the season of light and warmth. This is truly a time for the child within to come out and play. Remember summer vacations, swimming, exploring, sports, and hours with no commitments. Go forth and reclaim your sense of fun. Go forth and get to the serious work of play. Blessings on you all.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Everywhere I go.
Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
All around the town.
All around the town, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the town, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the town, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Hide it under a bushel?
Hide it under a bushel. No! I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No! I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No! I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Building up the world.
Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Light.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine.